I too would like to welcome everyone that's here in the physical so much. Thank you guys for coming today, and everyone that's here in spirit as well. We may only have 5 people sitting out here among us, but the chairs are filled with spirit everywhere, and that is wonderful to feel and see. So last week, Lynn spoke to us about Andrew Jackson Davis, his magic staff, and how that was an energy vibration, and the thing that comes is written on that staff is under all circumstances, keep an even mind. And as she spoke, she talked about growth, and she talked about how that's not being able just to remain calm in a situation. What that is that situation no longer bothers you. You have risen above that, so therefore it's not necessary to struggle with it. It just is, and you don't have to do that. It's a change in our energy. It's a shift in our spiritual awareness. It's a shift in our spiritual growth. And I thought when I was coming in here today that that's exactly what I was going to talk about. And I love our religion. I love spiritualism, because I was sitting there getting ready and I'm curling my hair and I get a text from a former student. This young man graduated in 2013, and he sent me a picture of a birthday card that I gave him. And his birthday is, believe it or not, I know this off the top of my head, is 9/5/5. So he was born in September 5th in 95. So 9/5/5. And he get this generic birthday card, like, hey, happy birthday. I hope everything goes well. Enjoy cake. And the kids that I have towards the end of the year get this very in-depth birthday card of a situation we've had. I make them laugh. I bring joy to them. It's this wonderful thing. And I said to Chris, this young man's name is Chris, and I asked him if I could share this. And I said to him, oh my gosh, that's amazing and wonderful, but look how generic it is. We were just knew each other, but by the end of the year, we were like besties, and we still are. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. Like, that's really lame. I want another card. And I was like, but we're besties. But it was that progression of growth. We started as strangers, and I was someone that, I know you guys do this. You go into a situation and you have a preconceived notion of what that situation is going to be. We come with our own baggage. Everyone does. And imagine as a teacher, you're standing there and there's 40 people coming in this room with their own baggage. And you don't know how they're going to perceive you. You don't know what they've gone through. You don't know what they're doing. And it's my job to bring them all together as one and to learn and to overcome that from day one. We don't have time to overcome that. I mean, we get busy. I see them for 9 months and then they're on their way. But that's what we're supposed to do. But how do we do that? How do we help other people grow? How do we help them change? How do we help them see? Take off their rose-colored glasses. Take their baggage that they come with, their experiences. Put that aside and be open to learning new things. So today, our message and what I want to share with you is about growth and what that growth is. So let's go back to Andrew Jackson Davis. This guy's just amazing. We think about Andrew Jackson Davis, and he's the father of modern American spiritualism. He wasn't a spiritualist himself, but he's the father of modern American spiritualism. This man was amazing. He had clairvoyance. He had X-ray clairvoyance. What that means is he can look at you and see inside of you, just like an X-ray machine, and diagnose what's going on. He was the first to actually diagnose from trance. And he had these amazing abilities and this incredible medium. But just because you're an incredible medium and you have this connection to God, that doesn't make us an incredible spiritual person. Sometimes we confuse those. We think because you have a connection to spirit, they must be very evolved individuals. But that's not true. And we take those things for granted. And some of us, because we may have the connection to spirit, we confuse that sometimes as well. We think we're doing the right thing, but we're not always doing that. And where does that growth come from? And how do we move forward in that growth? And again, back to Andrew Jackson Davis. He was in a trance. He was in this wonderful conversation with his spirit guide, Galen. And they presented him with this magic staff. It was an actual staff. And Jen can correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like 6 foot made out of silver, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 6 foot staff made out of silver. Like, wouldn't you like to have that today? Like, that'd be worth a lot of money. See, there's my spiritual growth right there. That was like lower vibration. But they hand him this staff that he's supposed to take back to this physical existence. And on that staff, again, it says, they told him, behold, here is your magic staff. Under all circumstances, keep an even mind. Take it. Try it. Walk with it. Talk with it. Lean on it. Believe on it. And again, that's a rise in our vibration. It's a state of mind. It's a state of being. Walk with it. Talk with it. Lean on it. It's who we are. It's not, let me compose myself. It's just who we are as people. So they give him the staff. He's like, that's cool. Going back. Let's go. He has to climb over this fence to get there. And he can't climb over with his staff. And he gets frustrated and angry. And Spirit's like, give that back. What are you doing? We thought you were ready. You're not. You're absolutely not ready. We thought you had what it took to take the staff with you, but obviously we were mistaken. You need a little bit more growth. Give it back. And we're living this human existence. Yes, we're spirit, and we come from infinite intelligence. There's a spark of infinite intelligence in all of us. But we're living in this human existence. And it's that human existence that gets us every time. And how do we not just sit in fear and worry and negativity, but raise our vibration to where we're always positive, to where it's not as hard to be positive, where it's our norm, where that's where we live in that. Those are our goals. I don't know anyone that says, I just want to be negative and sit here and don't bother me. They don't say that consciously. Maybe they say that subconsciously with their actions. But we all want to be better people. We all want to rise above. We all want to just be happy. Wouldn't you like that the stress around us doesn't affect you? Wouldn't you like at all times you keep an even mind? That someone can lump you in with some other person and you get upset by that because you're an individual? Couldn't we just bless that person and be on our way? Couldn't we give out love to those around us and do that willingly, not grudgingly? I'm going to tell the story again because I love my sister and I love this story. But when we were driving and she's in this horrible, horrible mood, and we had just read Florence Scovel Shinn's, I have Wisdoms of Florence Scovel Shinn, and she talks about blessing people and all these things and being metaphysical. And this guy cut her off and she's like, oh, and she's throwing a fit. And I was like, Jamie, bless that man. She's like, bless you! Still one of my favorite stories ever. But so instead of begrudgingly doing these things, do them because there's no other choice in our heart but to do them. Chrissy just said to me, I was like, Chrissy, thank you so much for coming in and cleaning the church. Nobody else did that. We didn't think to come in and do that, and you gave your time and everything. And to me, that's amazing. And Chrissy's like, it's just common sense. I just came in here and wiped things down. What are you talking about? It's not a big deal. So how we perceive things makes a huge difference in everything we do. And it's that growth, it's that thing, especially with what's happening right now. I spoke to my students about that. We have spoke to my friends and colleagues and to the church this morning. It's easy for us to be afraid of what's happening. It's easy for us to close ourselves off from everyone, to stay in and feel all the pressure of everything that's going on. Let's try to rise above that. And it's okay to be afraid. There is nothing wrong with those emotions. All of our emotions are good. They're there for a reason. They tell us to pay attention to what's happening around us. But we can look at those emotions, we can break them down, and we can move past them. So instead of sitting in fear and negativity, let's send out positive vibes. Let's look at those fears and say, yes, there's these things going on, but let's come into the church and clean it down. Let's be aware, but be cautious, not live in fear. Let's make sure that we're doing these things for each other and for ourselves. Our 8th principle is all about growth. The door to reformation is never closed to any soul here or hereafter. And that simply means there's another day tomorrow, there's another chance tomorrow, another way to do things. How do you want to grow? How do we grow together? And why is it important that we grow together? One of my big things that I don't even know my mentality, my wrapping my mind around things. But I see everyone as an individual. I don't see a separation in race and color and people like, that's impossible. It exists. It's there. You do it. And I don't. It's just another fact. It's just another thing that exists to me. And it bothers me when other people lump groups together and they make stereotypes and they do these things. And I was talking to someone this week and they said, well, I got in a fight with 2 Mexicans. And I was like, 2 Mexicans? Not 2 men? Not 2 people? Not, I got in a fight with others, but 2 Mexicans. Why is that your first go-to? Why is that a thing? You first describe somebody, you'll say, oh, well, he's African American, she's Asian, she's Catholic. We take all of these characteristics instead of who we are as people. Because remember, we are spirit first, living this human existence. And if Andrew Jackson Davis can't make it 30 seconds over the fence, and he had all of this connection to spirit, how are we supposed to do that as well? How do we do that? We're human, and it's great to be human. It's a great existence. It's amazing, actually. We're having this amazing existence. But we need to make sure that we move above just being humans. We move above that initial, describing somebody by race, sexual gender, sexual orientations. We move past these things. And I was talking with my kids again. My whole life is teaching. But I'm talking with my students again, and I was working on my religious stuff, and I was typing it out because I was taking a test. And it came to the part where it said, we're immortal. We know that. We're spirit, so therefore we're immortal. We live forever. But then it said we all go back to infinite intelligence at some point. And I was like, if we all go back to infinite intelligence at some point, then aren't we mortal? Does that mean we cease to exist? If we all blend into one with infinite intelligence, don't we cease to exist? And I said that to my kids because when I can't wrap my mind around something, I want to talk about it and I want to have these discussions and I want to work it out. One of my young men made it crystal clear to me, number one. But number two, others would not even think to share those ideas with teenagers because they're just teenagers and they don't know anything. They don't have any life experience. They don't know anything, and they can't help us. Right? How many times do we do that? How many times I don't know about you, but have you walked into a store and seen how others treat kids? Instantly, if a bunch of high school people go into the store, backpacks over there, don't steal anything, let me watch you completely all the time. Racial profiling, things of this nature. Fear from people coming into this country right now because of the coronavirus. But those things, we need to see each other as individuals. If we saw each other as individuals, that wouldn't be the thing. So this young man says to me, well, Miss Mellino, think about it. If we're all from infinite intelligence, like you just said, like we all have this spark of divine in us, what that actually means is the spark of divine sent out all of these pieces to experience all of these things. So it's infinite intelligence experiencing all of these things. And when we know everything, we are going to go back to that one whole. It doesn't mean you don't exist anymore. You exist as a whole again. And I was blown away by this 17-year-old man sitting in front of me who just instantly took something I've thought about my entire life and in a second brought me to that moment. And it was phenomenal and amazing. And we don't know who's going to bring us answers. We don't know who's going to touch our lives and in what way. Yet we often cut people out of our lives and don't pay attention to them based on whatever rose-colored glasses we put on, whatever our baggage is that we carry with us. It was so profound to me. I was blown away. I blew my mind away with that he could do that. Bringing us all back to one. For all of us raising our vibration. All of us growing together. Humanity. We talk about humanity, all of us humans together, but humanity spans beyond this world. It's spirit. It's everything around us. This morning when Chris texted me and I got that wonderful little text from him, just all it was that picture of that birthday card and it said, "Look what I found." And within seconds, I was connected to God. I could feel spirit moving in and through me. And I was just overwhelmed by the energy surrounding me in that moment. And those moments are precious and wonderful, and we have no idea who's going to bring those to us. And we should be bringing those to others. And it doesn't have to be talking about God. It doesn't have to be, hey, let's have a religious discussion. It's just being human beings. Being spirit, living a human connection, a human existence, and reaching out to others the way that we would want somebody to reach out to us, our sixth principle. Do unto others as we would have them do unto you. Be as polite as you can to others, because what does it hurt? It doesn't hurt us in any way. Raise who we are, not just for a few minutes, but all of the time. Rise up and be wonderful, amazing human beings that I know each of us are every day. And let that be our norm. Not living in negativity and fear. And when those feelings come up, when they arise in us, look at them, analyze them, and let them go. Because just like the song we sang, and I didn't pick the songs, Jen did, but the second verse where it says, I want to be on a higher ground. We do. We want to live on that higher ground. We want to be positive. We want to be a part of everything around us. It's amazing and wonderful, this religion that we have. We say our principles every week, and we talk about them. But do we actually let them resonate inside of us? Does everybody know the first principle off the top of our heads? Let's say it together. And instead of saying it, we believe, say I believe. And say it as if you know and believe. Are you ready? I believe in infinite intelligence. It's a different energy. It just fills you with joy and brings through. That's what we need to do as we move through this troubling time the next few weeks and months. We're unsure of how long that will be. Let's send love and healing to the world. Let's keep our vibrations high. We know when we are happy and joyous, our immune system is stronger and better. Let's continue to do that. Let's see everyone as individuals and not lump them together. and see what joy they can bring to us and what message of love that they have. God bless.
Thank you, Paula.